Oh, the first time it was Roseanne Barr and David Koechner from The Office. Shit was fucking wild. They call me up and I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. Because I went there with Brendan McCamey. I think he works at the Addison Improv. I had never been there. They were just like, we hung out at open mics. And like, we're going to Kill Tony. We got an extra seat. You want to come? I was like, yeah. They were doing a minute mic at Shakespeare's. They do a minute mic as they're calling people's names. So they called Brendan up for the minute mic. And I was like, where's Brendan? He's downstairs. I'm going to go find him. And as I was looking for him, I hear Jacob Canter. And I was just like not prepared for it. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, fuck. I start having like little, like, I get really nervous and shit.
Hi guys, welcome back to Chismes and Menudo. We did this last time. It's back in Chismes and Menudo podcast. We're here with Jacob Canter.
You press start, right? You press play?
Yes.
No, on the video.
Yeah.
We had Jamie on here.
Nice.
And we didn't realize until about 30 minutes in that she never pressed start on the video.
It wasn't me, it was Ricky.
It wasn't me.
So did y'all have to redo it?
No, we pressed record on the recorder,
Nice.
so we were just like, all right, this
Just
is going to
release
be
the
like
audio.
Yeah.
Okay. T. So you went to school
Yes.
to be a historian.
Where'd you go to
Not
school?
to be a historian.
That's not a
history
degree?
was what No, I mean you can go be a historian,
But you're not.
No, I'm not like a legit historian. Like I'd have to, if I were to consider myself a historian, I'd have to commit to that lifestyle. Like go get a PhD, start being
you
like
don't
a
have a
professor.
PhD?
No, I just have an
Oh, I thought you were a
undergraduate in
doctor.
history. I'm not a doctor.
Dr. Cantor?
I thought he was a doctor of
You think
history.
if I was a doctor, I'd be going around to open mics.
Well, isn't there a lawyer that goes around here and does open mics?
Oh yeah. I
Josh?
can't. What?
Is
Josh?
that, is
No,
that,
Josh is a lawyer, but there's
he
also
does the boombox bit,
Boombox.
yeah.
right? Is that him?
Okay, I see this guy all the time. I'm randomly blanking on his name.
I don't know his name. I just
But
know that
yeah.
there's a lawyer that does.
Yeah, he does, and he does like a music act with music.
Yeah, he was at the Shark Fest,
He has a Russian name, isn't it?
Provolone.
No.
No, I can't remember it.
I don't know,
Hans.
Hans Kim.
It's
That's
Hans.
German. Yeah,
No,
Hans
Hans
Kim.
Kim.
I love Hans.
Is he Hans Kim?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I say we smoked weed? Like that's why. That's why I can't remember
Adults
your
ate.
name, Hans. I'm sorry.
Hans.
But no, not
Also-
Hans Kim. I can't even remember his last name now.
not Kim.
Not Kim.
I think he just goes by Hans. I've
Yeah,
never
just
heard his
Hans.
last
But he's
name.
but the
sorry.
point is that he's a lawyer.
I didn't mean Hans
And he
Kim.
does
I'm
this.
just
I'm a lawyer.
high.
What a lawyer? A lot of what? Lawyer of what?
Of
Did he
Goops
say?
and Sillies.
Oh.
That's what I would imagine that he's a lawyer of.
Okay, well we have a lawyer,
Yeah.
but not a doctor.
Lawyer.
But I think some of the lawyers that are in the scene, they have like, they did go get a law degree. Because like the lawyers in the scene, they're all, it's not like they're like all mid 30s or older. I'm pretty sure Hans is in his late 30s to early 40s.
Yeah.
And they probably, I think they have like jobs, like they've worked high intensity jobs. And then have like, yes, they have their law
Yeah.
degree, but they don't just have like a crazy, like super lawyerly job.
But because there's other things that he could do with that, with lawyer, right?
Yeah, you can get all sorts of jobs that like are probably low responsibility with a decent.
See,
I mean, I don't know what
that's
these
like
guys do,
the tea.
but y'all know Saja. She was like I'm pretty sure. I think she told me she was like a serious, like a corporate lawyer or something like that.
Oh, shit.
Like making like serious bank, and then like she like got her bag and dipped out. And now she's like
That's
just
smart.
cruising and doing stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
just-
exactly what we were talking about earlier. We were having an argument
Yeah.
because she was telling me like sort of an argument. She was telling me I have to start an HVAC company so that I can do more stand up.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably smart. But my whole thing is like, I just feel like when I get away from stand up, then I get like less and less funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already like, because I was on probation for 2 years in Gregg County and I didn't do stand up for that 2 years. And so just like the work I've done just to like make up for that lack of 2 years of doing it.
Yeah.
Like I felt when I got back, I was really unfunny. Like when I moved to Dallas.
So we're okay. Start over. Go back.
When's your birthday?
Right.
Like the year too, or no, October 6th.
You don't have to.
October 6th?
Yeah.
Maybe the year too.
93. I'm 30.
Oh, 92.
Nice.
Good job.
94.
94.
Oh, look at us. Yeah, no wonder we're getting along so
We're
well.
millennials.
Yeah, like y'all remember PB&J Otter and like
Yes.
Gullah Gullah Island. Like that's what I'm worried about is like
Rocket Power.
Rocket Power.
I'm very into Rocket Power right now. Is it weird that like a 30-year-old is watching Nickelodeon?
Well, yeah.
'Cause I'm watching Nickelodeon.
It's a lot weirder after that
Yeah.
HBO documentary came out. Kind of
Well,
ruined my
only,
childhood.
only the cartoons, though.
That's
You
why
can't
I
molest a
started-
cartoon.
Me and my son, one of my boys, we just watched Zoe 101.
Interesting.
Loved it.
Did he
Loved
understand all the facials?
No.
Cool.
But Disney does that too.
Facials?
Facials?
I don't think
I'm
so.
sure lots of
Adult
bad-
jokes that go over kids' heads.
that go over kids' heads. I'm sure.
Still inappropriate. Anyways,
Well, there's like
90s
levels
baby.
to it. You know? There's because most of that is like they understand that. Well, first off, it's adults writing this. You know,
the
so
Dan
they're-
Schneider was the highest of levels.
Dan Snyder was obviously very bad,
Was
but
very
then
on
there's they're also writing it because like I feel like if I was a writer on a kids show, I'd be like, I'm gonna throw a joke in here or a reference that
Yeah.
I know the parents are watching and they're gonna catch it and they're gonna walk by and be like, oh, I remember that.
That's right. Yeah, it's a
Like
good
the
point.
cum shots
Yeah, the
Wait,
fish.
what are y'all talking
were
about?
crazy.
On did you
Oh,
watch
the slime?
Yeah.
On Nickelodeon? Yeah, that was
Not-
really bad.
Not necessarily the slime, but like just all the shows. Like almost every young girl that was on that show got like
A cum shot of
squirted with
sorts.
something on their face, and it made it look
Like, you know,
a cum
Jamie
shot.
Like it
Lynn
was-
Spears, she has a clip out here where like slime shoots into her face like a cum shot.
Just like right
And
here.
that's-
and
that's
then it
kids'
just slides
television.
down.
Now that this stuff is coming out, you'd have to be a freak fucking nut to get your kid into show business like that.
Right.
That is just like you're
Right.
just putting your kid around a bunch of fucking adults.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's people with common sense out here. That's what I worry
Yeah, and
about.
also it's like who the fuck? It's kind of fucking lame. Like you're not only is fame kind of lame, but getting your kid fucking famous. That's so fucking lame.
It's
honestly.
weird.
No matter what
Like-
it is, even if it's just the kid saying like I really want to do this, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's go, like being a supportive parent, it's still like the optics of it looks really bad
Get them
once
into
all
theater.
of this shit
Get them
comes
into
out.
a local theater.
Theater.
Don't just
Yeah.
like thrust them into like this corporate media
Right.
thing.
My
I don't know.
my son, we just discovered that he's
Talented.
talented.
Okay.
And so we're gonna, because he wants to do theater.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do theater. But
Yeah,
I would
like
never
theater.
take him to fucking what are they? Show casting? Not casting.
Casting coach.
No. Where they go places to
Auditions?
cast auditions.
Auditions, yeah.
I would never.
Yeah. It just seems like a creepy thing now.
But can you create a movie or a show for kids without kids in it? Like, can the kid acting career be completely done with? Like, we don't need movies with kids in
Dude,
it, right?
Kids are watching stuff on YouTube where it's just other kids opening boxes and playing with toys and playing video games. Like, it's
Yeah.
so easy to entertain these motherfuckers.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
give them that.
Right.
Are you saying like TV shows specific to kids or like
Any.
Is there
Is there a way to completely take that kid actor career out of that world?
I don't know, but I just always thought it was weird to have children in adult TV shows, you know? Like the one that I always bring up is that show Weeds. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever watched it?
I watched a few episodes, but I know like it was pretty like off the walls. Like she was selling
Yeah.
weed, smoking weed. Like
Yeah.
there was like a scene where like she was using a vibrator. So it's a pretty suggestive.
Yeah,
Show.
There's kids
I mean,
on that
it's HBO.
show. Yeah,
Right.
And then there's her youngest child on that show. Like I don't think they show him smoking weed, but I know that they like suggest that he's smoking weed with like one of his friends who's a girl, and then he like touches her boob. It's like early on, so he's very young. So it's
Right.
like this is a weird thing to like
Subject
have
a
a
kid
child
to.
to do.
Over and
Yeah.
over again.
And then also a lot of those kids that are actors and they go on to make it a full career, a lot of their first kisses are like on camera.
Yes.
Like it's not a natural thing.
That's what happened with Zoe 101.
And like it's not like a few of them are fucked up for life. Like the majority
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
them are fucked up for life.
If you didn't grow up to be fucked up from that, you had a really great parent. You had a really
that like watched
great
out for you and asked
parent.
questions and
Yeah.
was like present.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
wasn't worried about like ruining your career by saying like, hey, I don't like this dude around my daughter or my
Yeah.
son.
Fuckers.
If I have kids, I just want to give them like a normal childhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Be
100%.
But nostalgia.
About
Our childhood, like the 90s,
the
like
90s, they had good shows,
that,
but
you know,
what else? Oh yeah, nostalgia in general from our childhood.
yeah.
The McDonald's playgrounds used to slap ball pits. I mean, looking back, it's kind of gross, I think, but that ball pit was fun.
I'm so tired of like looking at my. I'm so tired of everything that I think about my childhood is like something is fucked from it.
Yeah,
where
but I
it's
think
like
that's every generation. I don't think it's just specifically kids that grew up in the 90s and early 2000s.
No.
But we got to grow up right before, like right at the zenith of American society, like before 9/11,
Yeah.
before all the stupid wars. Like the 90s was it.
Before children only stayed inside playing video games.
Exactly.
We got that when we were like in middle
right
school.
there.
Like I was, like I had like a whole gang of kids on my street and in my neighborhood, and then there was like another neighborhood catty cornered from mine that was, and there was woods in between them. So like
Where did you grow up?
In Longview in East Texas.
Oh, okay. So you are Texas. Okay.
It's like a mid-sized town. You know, it's nothing like Dallas, but I think when I was growing up, there was like 60,000 people.
Okay.
And I went to a school in North Longview, a public school. And it was like just really good neighborhoods of like, you know, middle-class people. And I was one of the kids, like my mom got me and my brother walkie-talkies. And some days it was like we literally would be out from like the moment the morning cartoons ended. We'd be out till the lights came on.
I couldn't do that with my kids right now.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
people.
not a thing.
Well, there's a whole book about it called The Coddling of the American Mind by Jonathan Haidt. He's been on Rogan and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great book, but it talks about how like essentially like we stopped letting like our kids like go out because of like fear and stuff and like the news would scare people. And yes, bad things do happen to kids, but me and my mom just got us walkie-talkies, and I definitely attribute a lot of like, if I like the parts about me that I like the things that like persevere and like keep being consistent in something, I feel like I learned a lot of that just outside playing
on the streets.
And interacting with all the other kids
and interacting and stuff, and like just and also having a sense of adventure, and like I want to do interesting things and have an interesting time and an interesting life.
That's so
I always
true.
felt like an adventure when you left your house in the morning on your bike with your brother. Like we didn't know what the hell we were going to get into. Like it was a fucking adventure every day.
You learn so much just by I feel like the interactions with other people is so important at that age.
Very important.
Because I remember going out and like other adults would yell at me, like, or I would see how other adults would behave in like their own home, and I'd be like, oh, that's how you fucking move. Like, oh, I see, like clocked it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like the feeling of like, oh, I'm in danger right now, and then just like leaving real fast.
Yeah,
like understanding certain things that are happening in situations where you're just kind of, like you become a little more aware just because like you don't have your parent there all the time to be like, hey, get away from that, or like don't do this, don't do that.
You're really like, you know, interacting with the world and rubbing up against the world. Like we used to throw dirt clods from cars in the bushes. Like every now and then one would stop and like chew us out and like come like, you know,
getting in trouble by another adult.
So scary.
So scary.
But also like getting chased by an adult
was scary. But I remember
scary but fun.
One day
laughing the whole time. We
were hitting this car with dirt clods, and this guy got out and he was pissed and he yelled at us and he drove off. And then, you know, you just hear sirens off in the distance. We're like, oh fuck, go inside.
Oh, running home. That's yeah, it's sad, but like no, you can't do it. I definitely do coddle my kids, and I don't like it because there was this TikTok that I was watching where it's like there's hood parents out here raising suburban kids,
right?
And it's like, oh yeah, that's what I that also fucked me up. That also fucked me up knowing as a kid that like this adult just yelled at me. I'm in their house. My mom doesn't know. I'm probably not gonna go over there and tell her.
That's true.
You know, and I'm like,
because you got in trouble. Like all you're seeing it is as like I got in trouble at this person's house. If I tell my mom, then she's gonna be mad at me because I was doing something to get in trouble. But really, they could have just been a dickhead and yelled at you.
Right. But I'm like, oh, so it's either my kid is out here acting stupid or someone's out here yelling at my kid. So I'm like, no, I can't do it.
But also, like our parents' generation, I assume your parents are the same age as like ours. Like both of our parents were born in '68.
Yeah, my parents are 61 and 62. Yeah.
So. Yeah, a couple years older, but like their generation, it was more of like you just disciplined other people's kids. Like if it was a child and you were an adult, you were allowed to discipline those children.
I do love it when other people discipline my kids, because then it's like, yeah, fucker, you see.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
my
think,
kids don't.
I'm not being dramatic.
honestly, most of the time, parents would just be like, you know, your son's very well behaved. I didn't have to get onto him once. And I'm not saying I was a good kid. I just, in other people's houses, I tended to be pretty polite. I kept it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember really being disciplined. Also went to church, so there was plenty of like old ladies getting onto me and stuff. So I had a lot of that too.
I don't know. 90s, I feel like.
I think it was the last time that kids could like feel like they were kids. Like you were saying, you were outside all the time.
Yeah.
And then a couple years removed from that, all of the kids are just inside playing video games.
Or watching other people play video games,
Yeah.
which is just
when
nuts.
did YouTube start? YouTube started in 05.
Yeah. Do y'all remember pre-YouTube?
No.
Yeah.
Like me and my brother used to watch music videos on Yahoo Music videos.
Yeah.
Like,
No, we
would
had cable.
Like I remember that's when I first heard My Chemical Romance. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Getting ready in the mornings to MTV.
The Buddy Holly music video from Weezer.
Yeah.
Also, Shania Twain had a great song where she was like, "I'm gonna get you just a matter of time." She was like in in the future riding like a motorcycle, going through all these obstacles and stuff. It was like the coolest music video.
There was
You're a
one
kid.
band that I remember I can't remember it now. They're called the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and they had a music video on MTV, and I remember that. So, and also the Fall Out Boy.
Mm-hmm. That's how I started listening to the Fall Out Boy, was through MTV.
Yeah, the Going Down Swinging song.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. Because my sister's 10 years older than me, and so she like got me and my brother into punk rock. And she had a boyfriend. They ended up being married. They're still married.
Nice.
But so like they got me into like Green Day. Like that was one of like the first albums
Green
that I
Day.
ever remember listening to a lot.
I can't.
I was a
I haven't
kid.
listened to Green Day in I don't know how long.
Every now and then I go back to them. But yeah, I remember my brother-in-law showed me Fall Out Boy, and it was like, yes, this is awesome.
Oh, I remember when Fall Out Boy came out. Ricky was obsessed. He made us take him to Best Buy, the Best Buy that's on Midway, and go and get the CD.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then when they released their album after that, I stole it from Best Buy.
What are these? Okay. Well,
Respect. Yeah, we had a place in Longview called Hastings, and one of my friends got caught shoplifting there. But it was actually a teacher at our school who was working part-time there. And she was like, I know these
Yikes.
fuckers. They're going to steal something.
Yikes.
damn.
Yeah.
Stop. So when did you move to Dallas? How old were you when you moved to Dallas?
I moved to Dallas a little over 2 years ago. So
recent.
I haven't been out here that long, but I moved here like 2 Januaries ago
So why?
for stand-up. Yeah.
Specific? Just
Were you
for
doing
that?
stand-up in Longview?
No, I was just kind of being sad. I was on probation.
That's the realest I've ever.
It was the pandemic as well. And
Yeah.
I was like pretty decimated, honestly, because I had moved to Boston to do stand up and like really pursue it. And
Wait. So okay. So
yeah, I'm going to back
you
up further.
yeah, go back. You
So, yes,
graduated.
well, earlier you asked me if I went to school. Yes, I went to school. I just got an undergraduate in history. I studied like mainly Russian history.
So that's not a historian.
It is, but like you have to be like go get a PhD to become a historian. It's like
okay.
if someone got like their Bachelor of Science and they're not a scientist.
Oh,
so
right.
yeah, I'm not trying to. I didn't want to seem.
No,
like
correct
mean.
me. I need to know.
But yeah, no, I just studied history for 4 years to get my degree. Like a lot of people study history, then they just go off and do other things. Like
Yeah.
I was in the military, so that's what I was saying. I didn't really want to do it. It's just what I was doing at the time. And I wanted to commission as an officer in the Army. I didn't really want to. It's just the momentum of my life was taking me there.
You like right after high school, or you went to college first?
I went to college in my hometown, a place called Kilgore. And then I was just couldn't focus. Well, I could focus. I had good grades, but like I couldn't afford like the next semester. And it wasn't even that much. I just didn't save the money and get it together.
Yeah.
So I pretty much dropped out, and then I joined the National Guard.
And because you already had all the.
Well, I only had like 1 semester of college classes under my belt.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm going to go join the National Guard and like get the rest paid for. So that's
Smart.
what I did. Yeah. So it was only 1 week in a month. I went to basic training for like 5 months. I was in basic and AIT in Fort Leonard Wood. And then I came back to Longview and then finished my first year of college at Kilgore and then moved to College Station.
Oh wow.
And I was in the National Guard at that time. So it was like 1 week in the month and 2 weeks in the summer.
So you were already near Dallas.
Yeah, I've been
Closer,
around Texas. Yeah. Well, Longview is only 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. I think College Station's a little further from Dallas. But yeah, I lived out there. Yeah,
about 2.5, 3.
Yeah, that's where I started doing stand-up. And I was, hosted a mic on Northgate. We had like showcases at the end of the month, and then we tried to go to Austin or Houston to get on open mics. And then once I graduated, I moved to Boston because I had a friend who was going to let me live under a staircase.
Nice.
Pretty much like Harry Potter. I was like Harry Potter of the Boston comedy scene. And I was just like paying like a little bit of money, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I don't even have to drive that much because it's like that whole town is connected by like commuter rails and stuff.
That's so cool.
It's a very pedestrian-free city, and have a great bus system. And then it's 4 hours from New York. I mean, you can just get on the morning train and go to New York.
Wow. So, but you didn't last long there?
No, well, I came back for a friend's wedding and got arrested with weed for my third time, and I was already kind of low-key fleeing my second charge. So, because like a week before I graduated from college, I got arrested for my second time for possession of marijuana.
Oh shit!
And then I like went to Massachusetts, and then I came back for a friend's wedding, and then I got arrested again. And I was like, all right, fuck, maybe I just need to like deal with this.
Yeah.
But luckily, is because they happen so quick, they happen in like such short time spans from each other that like Brazos County wasn't able to like let Gregg County. No, so it was like I got arrested for my second charge 2 times.
Oh,
like
okay.
they never knew about it. So like when I got on probation, I was like, I need to transfer my other probation over there, and they were like, other probation? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, well, you got lucky. There's nothing they can do about it now because like once you're in probation, there's like they're just like, oh wow.
So that would have been 3.
Fuck. Yeah, you like because I would have had to probably do more shit had they known that I already had a second charge. Probably.
You served some time.
You got so
I
lucky.
Think they put you in for like 90 days into like a county jail, but like it's so fucked up that they would do that for someone that's smoking weed. Like I was just in there for like a few hours, and there was like some dude who like got caught, like he was like held up in some like hotel room with like a bunch of meth and like hookers and stuff. Like they were like, and there was like another kid there who like was like an arsonist and shit. Like, those are like serious fucking criminals.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
I just had a joint.
I just like had a joint. Like I don't really even drink that much. I just kind of like smoke weed and like listen to Amy Winehouse and chill. Yeah,
love Amy Winehouse.
Love Amy. Are you ready for the biopic?
I was just about to say the biopic is coming out.
It's gonna be great.
No, I can't believe that.
Are you protesting?
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I've seen the trailers, and I don't know if like that chick is gonna be able to capture Amy, but I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Honestly, I saw the premiere of it on TikTok, and then I watched one video where the girl was against it, and then I agreed with everything that she said.
That's
so
fair. You think
I got.
You went to TikTok, you and was like,
right.
Wait, the actress playing Amy Winehouse is against the movie?
No, they did like a review on the trailer of the.
And then the commentator that you watched was against it and persuaded you.
And
gotcha.
You can't turn me.
What are her credentials?
She's just not taking it
She's
seriously.
on TikTok, and I mean, you know, she makes good points. She makes good points. Yeah.
I'm not gonna agree to something just because it's, you know.
Not a huge fan of biopics either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they usually don't get it right.
Yeah, like the Straight Outta Compton one just completely ignored the fact that...
I didn't even go see that one. Like, I haven't seen the Elton John one, but I did like the Queen one.
I like the Elton John one. I like the Queen one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Elton John one
I couldn't get through it. Too much musical.
Really?
I think when it's... No, the Elton John one was good. It was so good.
We just didn't get through it.
I think when it's like too...
Serious?
Like one way, yeah. You can fuck it up really fast.
Maybe that was what it was with the Queen one. Was like it didn't idolize him. Well, it did, but then it also showed like the bad side of him.
Right.
And it's just a good story.
Yeah. Whereas
it is a great story.
And he was a great actor.
Yeah. Straight Outta Compton, it was just like these guys were fucking awesome. They didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre never hit anybody that didn't have a penis.
Mm.
Yeah.
Likely, how convenient to leave it out.
Show them like being like legitimately fucked up, and it's not like they're hiding anything. Like just listen to the music. It's all about killing people.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
I can't wait to see the Diddy one.
I
can't wait to see the Diddy one.
Diddy's about to be Epstein's.
Who would cast him?
Hard.
Who would cast him?
Who would be him? Kevin Hart.
Damn, Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah, but no, because
He's older, isn't he?
So apparently, there's like video of like Cuba Gooding Jr. fucking dudes and stuff in Diddy's on Diddy's computers. Dude, Diddy was up there just like he's like, yeah, we got Cuba fucking a dude. Like we're gonna fucking cash in so hard.
There's that audio that supposedly it's Meek Mill and Diddy.
Ugh.
It's
your G-spot is in the prostate. What do you want them to do?
I don't know. Have sex with women like good Christians.
How about let's just be honest and be like, my G-spot is somewhere where...
Okay, well, there are also a lot of allegations of like sex trafficking and like pedophilia and drugging.
Right.
You know.
Let's circle back here.
Let's arrest him for that. But also, if he likes dick, he likes dick.
So that's what I'm saying.
But, okay, consenting adults. Like, there's
adults.
it's if you're gay, it's like, dude, it's not that hard. Like, if I was gay, I could just get on the fucking.
We're gonna love
Dallas
you regardless.
No, but I'm just saying, like when it comes, like gays have the easiest time having sex.
Yeah, they have
like,
an app that just
if I was gay, I
pings
could
you.
literally get on the dart and just get a blowjob. Like,
right. Access to sex is
completely easy. Why do you have to like traffic in a bunch of fucking weirdos and get Cuba Gooding Jr. involved? Just like go fuck.
Yeah, it's all just a
go
power
to a
play.
gay club. It's extremely easy.
The ones that got like blackmailed into doing it, you know, that's sad.
I mean, yeah,
that is sad.
That's sad.
But it's like, just don't like go to fucking famous rapper's house and get fucking videos of you fucking people. It's weird.
Right. But also, like Justin Bieber, when he started hanging around them and like started coming around, how old was he? He was like 14?
15,
yeah,
14.
he was very young. And he looked younger. You know,
right. And
he's like a
girl.
man twink.
Right. And so that's when we're like, oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
There was a couple of videos or a couple instances where older females were like kind of touching
Kourtney Kardashian
was like touching up on Justin. Yeah, and then I think
there's a rumor that her last son, not her latest, but like the youngest one from Scott Disick is Justin Bieber. Like they put that little kid side by side to Justin Bieber's kid pictures.
Damn.
And he looks like him.
Wild.
Like there's probably are some secrets like that. With like
secret children.
With like the entertainment elite.
Yeah. It's a wild thing to want to be a part of.
Anyway, we'll get back to you.
Oh, that's right. I love to talk about me. No, we got sidetracked with Amy Winehouse, if I remember correctly.
So then you just started you were working and like paying everything off.
Yeah, and then I just was like staying with my parents.
Service.
Yeah, doing that community service, just working a job and
so
just
back in
Longview. But I was still like hanging out and like writing comedy, and like I would just try out my bits on people, you know, like just individuals.
Did you have to go and like back to Longview while you were doing probation? Like you couldn't leave?
No, I could have left. I just was not.
It was your home.
It was. I needed to be home, and like I don't know. I just felt like I needed to like gain the trust of my parents back and stuff.
Okay.
And it was just like a time where I just need to like sit still and like figure out what I got to do.
Relax, grow up a little bit.
Arrested again.
How old were you at that point?
I guess it was like 26 or 27. I was 26 when it happened. Yeah. But I'd already been through such a fucking like tear where like I hadn't had any rest. Like I like joined the National Guard, and then like right after that I was like going to school pretty much full time and working, and then I was a cadet at A&M because I wanted a commission, and so it was like 5 a.m. wake ups. You go run like 3 miles.
So you did like a 180, like you just were complete shit, and then you were on top of your shit.
No, I was on top of my shit, and then like I got arrested for the first time, and that like completely changed the trajectory of my life. But I had to like keep working and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I like just kept pushing, ended up graduating. Then I like 3 weeks after I graduated, I moved to Boston, and then all that shit happened. So I just need to like chill for a second.
Yeah.
But looking back, I wish I had at least like tried to come to Dallas like maybe every few weeks and hit open mics. But I honestly just wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to do stand up because it was like, if I can't be in New York or LA, this is pointless. But then like, you know, I feel like Austin has grown, and then I was like, I'm just going to go to Dallas and just try this. And so, and my brother was here, and I had a roommate. So I just came to Dallas. Yeah. Just
Go to open mics.
Go to
What do you
open
what
mics.
like 9 to 5? What do you?
I work at Whole Foods.
And you've been doing
Been
like working.
Oh yeah, well I was when I first moved here. I was a Uber driver. Well, when I first moved here, I was doing mortgages on the phone, and I just hated it. And then I was an Uber driver for a year, and then I was like hated. Eventually, it was like this is unsustainable, and then I got the job at Whole Foods.
And now you're just like focusing on comedy.
Yeah. So I just make sure that like I show up to work, and then everything after that is really just stand up. So I usually hit like between like at the very least 4 mics a week, usually 5 to 6.
Is that a lot? Usually
Yeah,
5 to
I'd say.
6.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
One a night at least.
Yeah. Usually I can't do one on like every other Saturday, and then some Fridays I take off, and like sometimes I close at work and I can't go. But the nights that I have off, I'll try and at least hit 2 or 3. So yeah.
Have you got like? Are you doing touring at all?
No.
How do you
I'm not
do
really
that?
there
How do
yet.
you start that? You have to get on with somebody.
Usually that's how it starts. So like really what you want to do is be near a local club, and then try and get your foot in the door to where you're like they're like booking you. And then maybe even like if someone comes to town and they're like, all right, if Christina P comes and does the Addison Improv and they know about you, they might be like, all right, you're going to open for Christina, and maybe she likes you, and
That happens.
that does happen to
Yeah.
people.
Oh shit.
Also, I mean, usually
So you have
for
to go to
people
the
that-
same open mics the same nights every time?
Yeah. I mean, well, I close on different nights. I never know when I'm opening and closing, so I usually just look ahead. But I've been doing a lot of new mics lately. But I pretty much always go to Reno's on Thursdays, and I was doing Sharks on Thursdays too, pretty much every Thursday.
He's got a new club opening up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna go to that opening. It's on the 9th.
But yeah, I mean, I've pretty much been to most of the mics in town, and so it does kind of get old. Like at some point, you do hit a wall in this scene. If you can't get into the clubs, open mics aren't only gonna go so far for you. So yeah, and I'm really not in the clubs either, but I'm trying to. You know, it's just a work in progress.
So that's like the next step.
Yeah, that's the next step, is to like just try and get. And like, a lot of people move here and then they're all of a sudden like, why isn't this going anywhere? It's like, you got to chill. Like if you stay in the scene and you keep actually working on stand up and you're really trying to get better, eventually the clubs are going to like notice you, or you're going to come across their radar. You just got to give it time. Like it doesn't just happen in like a year or two. It can be longer than that.
So for like Addison Improv, that's a big club.
Yeah, it's probably the best club in town, I'd say.
Okay, so you have to. Do they have an open mic where you can go there?
Well, hold on. I want to back up. When I say the best club in town, I think that when I look at like who's booking who, they probably book like the most like name like recognized comedians who are going to be in clubs.
Yeah.
The Arlington Improv and the Addison Improv, mainly the Addison Improv. Like I saw Sam Morrill there, but like Hyenas is a great club too, and they book Duncan Trussell.
they have 2 places, right?
Yeah,
Hyenas.
one in Dallas and one in Fort Worth. So I don't want to like rank the clubs because I love Hyenas too. Like for instance, like I saw this guy Jonathan Kite who played Oleg on Two Broke Girls. Dude, I laughed so hard at this dude. It was like I never stopped laughing. I didn't even laugh that hard when I saw Sam Morrill at the Addison Improv, and he has a Netflix special.
Multiple.
So that doesn't mean that like they're even booking like the best comedians, or like you're gonna have a better time at the
most
Addison
known.
Improv. The most known, but like Hyenas is still great. Like they're doing a lot of cool shit, like the Roast League with David Lucas. They're having, I'm going to see Casey Rocket there tonight. Like they have a lot of really good shows.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I'm probably, I'm trying to get
So,
my
like, if
foot in the
you
door at
were, like-
Hyenas too.
Right. So, but if you were, do they have an open mic?
Hyenas?
Yeah.
Not right now. I think they're
Yeah,
on
they
hiatus.
canceled it, but I think they're going to reopen one on Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay.
Tuesdays,
they used to
like
do them
every
on
Tuesday?
Tuesdays, yeah,
'cause
possibly.
They used to do them on Wednesdays. I think Fort Worth Hyenas
But they
still
also
has one.
have, at least for right now, it's going to be one mic a month there, because they have the David Lucas Roast League, like one Wednesday night a month, and then they'll have an open mic after that. Yeah.
Yeah,
which
those
is
always
honestly
went long.
probably better because the thing about that Hyena's mic on the Wednesday is that, or on just a regular Wednesday, is that it's just comics in there. And sometimes if you perform and do your open mics in front of comics, it actually might make you a worse comedian. And it's just because you have to get in front of club crowds. As like you have to do it to get better. And so it's really good if like you can be on the first block of the open mic after the David Lucas Roast League, because it's like a sold out audience.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just haven't left yet.
Yeah.
And so you get to go do stand up in front of them.
Yeah, but if you're on that last block, it's like
you're fucked.
Yeah,
and so
it's you and the other comedians.
That's what I'm saying is like people might complain that the open mic is canceled, but they're kind of doing them I don't know if they're thinking that, but in my head, they're kind of doing them a favor, because if I can only get on that mic once a month and it's in front of a club crowd, it's better than the other 3 times I'm going to do it to an empty room.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And also in that time, you can build a better set for that actual crowd.
Yeah, and when it comes to going on tour, I think it used to be is that like you would get on the Tonight Show or something like that, and then eventually like that's when you could just like sell tickets in clubs. But really, you can go on tour when you can sell tickets, when enough people know about you. That's how I see it. So right now, I think the name is just like you got to be funny on stage and then find a way to go viral.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Going viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that.
It's
well, you went viral.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
it was
scary,
pretty
huh?
crazy. It does. When I will say this, I do have more panic attacks when I smoke weed now, because sometimes it crosses my mind like, holy shit.
What?
I just get freaked out about like saying stuff in front of like large, like that. It's one thing to make a room full of people laugh, and then they're going to go home and maybe they'll have a conversation about something someone said in the car and chuckle.
Yeah.
But then it's it. You know,
Yeah.
I accused Joe Biden of being a pedophile in an Asian accent, and it's going to always be there. And I said, you know, so I got on Kill Tony again, by the way.
I know.
The Monday
I
before
saw.
last. And my interview didn't go so well, at least I don't think. In my head, looking back, we'll see.
Has that episode come out yet? No.
No, it's going to come out in like, I guess, a week from tomorrow.
That's crazy.
But like, I don't know.
Do you remember what you said?
I think I said something anti-Semitic at one point.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. They asked me, and that's the thing is I actually had a really funny story. I don't know. I wasn't like, I had a great set and I got on Secret Show, but like in the interview, I felt like I was kind of like flat and in my head a little bit, but they were like, do people try and steal from Hot Bar? And I was like, yeah, homeless people come in, they're all skinny and they look like the boy in the striped pajamas, which is like a fucking Holocaust movie.
It's my
pretty
favorite
fucked
movie.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves the Holocaust.
And I like the movie too. And I wasn't trying to be hateful, is the reason I said that, and it just popped into my head. Well, no, because we did have a homeless guy in striped pajamas, and I fucking made a joke about it. Like, look how hungry he is. Like, he's fucking literally doing the thing right now. And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. But actually, the funny story is that we fired our security guard for giving soup to a homeless guy.
What?
And it was like a very small cup too. But I think there might be other reasons why she was fired, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Someone who worked in the kitchen was just like looking out, and was like, "We just saw the security guard hand this homeless guy a thing of soup and go, 'Here you go, sweetheart.'" It's like this fat black lady, and they're like, "Did she pay for that?" And they looked at the camera and was like, "No, she did not."
It was because she was black.
She was black, and she's like a very kind person, but also.
But what was she doing that was the straw that broke the camel's back?
Well, okay, so she was always high, always high, and like
okay, she didn't get fired for the soup.
Yeah,
As a security
it's funny
guard?
to say that, but yeah, she was always stoned, and
As
and
a
like I'm
security
cool.
guard.
Like I've been arrested. Like I get stoners, so I befriend them easily, and I got to where me and her were like pretty cool, and she'd just be like, "All right, I'm gonna go smoke my lunch. I'll be back in 30 minutes, sweetheart. I'm gonna go smoke my lunch." Shit. I'd be like, yeah, all right, cool.
Mexicans say that too.
But I was always in the back of my head, I'm like, you're carrying a fucking gun. And also, it was like,
she's armed. It was an armed security guard.
It's armed security. She has a fucking like a legit fucking pistol on her hip.
That's incredibly illegal.
And I was like, you're just like fucking rolling up blunts in the fucking parking garage.
So maybe there was due cause.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just funnier to lead with, we fired her, and then you eventually reveal it's like, no, she was like just rolling in like fucking pistol, fucking hot, fucking smelling like weed.
That's crazy.
But yeah, she would, I know, in like the parking garage would always smell like fucking pot down there when you go leave for work, because she'd been down there smoking blunts. And like, that's the thing, is like, also, she was never where she was supposed to be when that shit happened. You can never find her when like a homeless guy was having a mental breakdown. I mean, there's so much fucking weird shit that goes on, like in a grocery store over the, throughout the day.
That's why Employee of the Month was such a great movie. I love that
is
movie.
a good movie. I need to rewatch that now that
Such
I've been
a good
working at Whole
movie.
Foods. But yeah, she was like never there. Like we would have homeless people like knocking shit over and trying to steal and like, just being fucking a nuisance. And then all of a sudden it's like, where's this bitch?
She's out in
like
the back
high as
smoking a
shit.
blunt.
She fucking walked to the fucking barbecue joint up the street and fucking forgot where she was or whatever.
Forgot that
With
she.
the gun
Because like,
on her
like,
head.
if you're high and you go to barbecue joint, like that's a 2-hour endeavor.
Right.
Yeah.
You're, like even
then, like,
after
at
you're
least
done
a
leaving, you're just
4-hour
gonna
nap.
sit there drinking Coke and
Sweet
watching
tea.
YouTube on
Drinking
your
that
phone.
sweet tea.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna be in a time warp.
Yeah.
So,
We're not going
like,
back to work after that.
She'd be like, "Yeah, like I'm gonna go to like the Dickies up the street," and be like, "All right, like I'll be gone by then. The store will be closed, but you have a good time, Alicia."
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
take my 6-hour lunch. I'll be back.
Oh, and then we had this other security guard. It was this short black guy, and there's something about the way that this security guard company is run, where like they rush people in without checking their papers, like not like their status, but
Right.
if they're actually like still have whatever like the license is to be a security guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they hired this dude, and his license was already expired, and he was just trying to like, I guess he was telling people he's getting another job. I don't know. He's actually really good at his job, but essentially something happened and he got fired. And then like 2 days after, and he was like really pissed about it, and like people were saying like he showed his ass and he made an ass of himself in like the parking garage to like the other security guard boss. It was like a whole ordeal. And then 2 days later we had a short black dude in a mask come in the store and just do like a lap around the store, just knocking shit over, like big fucking expensive things of wine and shit.
That's
Wow.
And then run out, and no one knows who it was.
No
but we
one
think
knows
it was
who
him.
it was.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
But you know what I liked about him though is like people like 2 minutes before we closed, he would just be like, "No, you can't come in. We're closing in 2 minutes." Like he would lay down the fucking law.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so
Why can't people just be sane?
That's tough.
It's tough.
we actually had a homeless guy lunge at the store leader or the store manager that like just the other
You
day
have
as a female.
so much content just working
I
at a
know.
grocery store.
I know it's like, and then they asked me on Kill Tony, and all I could say was like something like that. I don't even. It's just such poor taste. I love Jewish people. I'm like part Jewish too.
You think did they make a clip out of it, or do you think?
No, I don't know. It hasn't been released yet.
Do you think maybe they edited it out?
Hopefully, but yeah, I don't know. I just wish I had been funnier. But yeah, so back to this because it's a funny story. So this homeless guy, first off, he's not just a homeless guy because we now call him Dookie Draws.
Yikes.
Because he like smells bad, and I think he was trying. He always buys a Foster's beer and like some piece of food. Usually, I think at one point he was stealing it, but lately he's been coming in and been able to pay for his shit. And he like smelled really bad, and then like one of the cashiers looked at the other cashier and was like, "There's like shit caked on the back of his pants, like at the back of his jeans."
Ew.
He like can't even walk right. He's like, this guy is fucked the fuck off. Like one day, this was months ago. Like he disappeared. They all disappear for like, and then one day you'll see him again. Like all the homeless people. One day, this was probably like earlier in the fall, I saw him and he was writhing around in pain on the sidewalk, puking up rotisserie chicken with an empty can of Foster's, like a few empty can of Foster's, just on the sidewalk, broad daylight, with like a half-eaten rotisserie chicken, just puking up chicken and rolling around on the sidewalk in pain. Like he didn't even go to an alley. It was like in the middle of
there?
uptown on the sidewalk in Dallas.
That's crazy.
Yeah. now we trespass him from the store, so he's not even allowed to be in there. So once we see him, we have to like get the security guard or like get other people to like kick him out.
You have to find the security guard.
There's a lot of homeless in Uptown.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's like they're homeless regulars. Like we had this one black guy. He actually he got arrested, and I guess he's been released because I've been seeing him again. But he would just go around, and he would take the chairs from the porch in the eating area outside Whole Foods, and he would take them to the parking garage and make them into a bed, which is like, okay, innocent enough, but then he would just shit on them and just leave like his morning shit in the chair.
Ew.
Yeah, and so we had to start putting the chairs in at night because of him. And that's the thing is that little corner he was sleeping in, we have a camera on it. So we just like, there's like a video of him just like shitting. It's like, these people are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And he has dreads. He doesn't have a shirt, and he just would have like these baggy sweatpants. And he would just yell at cars all fucking day on the corner, just yelling obscenities. One morning I was riding my bike to work, and I saw him on the sidewalk, and I was going really slow because he was about to cross like a little driveway. And I was like, okay, once he crosses that driveway, I'll be able to get around him and get ahead of him. Before he got to the driveway, he turned around like just randomly and then like looked at me and then was like grumbling and like tried to shoulder check me while I was on my bike.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And like, I don't even know if he meant to. He was just so zonked out that like, I don't think he saw me. And like, there was only room for one of us because I was on a bike.
He said it's going to be me.
Yeah, exactly. And then like,
did he clip you or?
His shoulder hit me, but like, I was just like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, I was able to keep my shit balanced. So I was like, good. And then, he would always hang out in front of the windows too. And like one day his pants fell down, and like the entire front staff like just saw his dick. It was disgusting. It was he had a lot of hair down there, and it was a gigantic black cock, homeless cock. It was nice. But no, and then
Jesus Christ,
we would have a guy. He would come in because we had margarita mix like in a display over the summer, and he would just run in. We would catch him. Well, the first time he did, he ran in, grabbed the margarita mix, chug like the whole thing. This is a huge thing of margarita mix, like one of those big fucking things. Chug the whole thing, and we were like, what the fuck? And we didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden we see him out there, and he has another. So at some point he got like halfway through it, and then just like, he sold two. So he had one that was closed, and then one that he opened. He got halfway through the second one and then passed out. And then we were just like, what the fuck? And then we just sent someone over to go get that unopened. We didn't sell it, but we were just like, yeah, we're just gonna like fucking
take it away from him
out and like put it in the trash can.
That's like, what happened to them? Like, why are they like that? That's
obviously some sort of trauma, but also like serious substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
And like that's one thing I've learned about people with like for real like substance abuse issues with like hard drugs, like because weed, if you just like to smoke weed, like that's no one really gets their life destroyed from like smoking too much weed, but that doesn't mean that there's not bad side effects. But like when you talk about like alcohol, like it really fucking sucks people in. So I think when you get on a substance abuse thing like that, you just start burning bridges with people. Yeah. And then it gets to the point where nobody wants you around because you just drag them down.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And then you're for the streets. Also, I would say that when you do hard drugs like crack and methamphetamine, it like that's what takes people to the streets so quickly because it makes them okay with being on the streets. Yeah. They're like, because when you're fucked up on drugs like that, you're like, oh yeah, like this isn't so bad. Like, no, we'll just, as long as we have meth, it's cool. And like, no, this is a great parking garage. We can shit in here. We can sleep in here. It's gonna be great. We got meth.
That's crazy.
Yeah. As long as we got meth or heroin, like as long as you get your fix
like
for
you're
the
literally
day,
like, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, no, just get a cot, sleep in the woods. It's fine.
I'll suck a dick for.
Yeah,
it's okay.
No, like, I'm not gay. But I was like, I'm just sucking my dick to get sucking someone's dick to get a fix.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
It's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of homeless. Austin used to be really bad.
Now it's really... Well, I heard it's gotten better, but it's still bad.
Yeah, well, it was bad, and then it got better, and then the boom hit, like with Rogan going down there, and then it got really bad, and now they're cleaning it up again.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Dallas is getting
But it's
bad.
still bad. Like, I went to Barton Springs last Tuesday, and there was, like, kids playing on the playground, but in the corner, just a homeless person passed the fuck out. And you can't even tell if they're alive. You're like, like, is that person might be dead.
We just passed one right now that was on the side of the street by Jack in the Box, and he was not moving.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed, especially after the pandemic, those homeless looked so fucking desperate. Like, there are some dangerous motherfuckers. Like in Deep Ellum, I was like, Jesus Christ, they're like really fucking aggressive homeless. Yeah. But I haven't seen that. Like, not in the past year and a half. I haven't. You see homeless, and they ask, but they're not aggressive like they were
the times
when I first moved here.
Yeah, when I've been to Deep Ellum, I don't go often. I've been going there a lot more recently. No. I've never had an interaction with a homeless person ever.
I'm still out, all the time, and I get asked for money significantly less than when I first moved here.
They're doing better.
I never get asked for money.
I never get
asked for money. It's
maybe
always
because you're white.
I think so. They do see my face, and they're like, he has some fucking money. But I was like, no, dude, I'm fucking broke as shit.
You might have more money than I do right now.
Yeah, actually, I'm like fucking in debt. So if you're not in debt, you actually have more money than I do.
As a matter of fact, you just pull out a switchblade.
Yeah, but I do show up to a job. They don't. They don't have obligations.
I wonder how many more people became homeless because of COVID, like afterwards.
You got to think about they shut down all like the sobriety programs. So like people who were like used to seeing the same people and relying on them
people
to like help
in the
keep each other sober, like AA and people going to NA, and then all of a sudden, liquor stores stayed open and strip clubs stayed open, but like churches and fucking sobriety groups couldn't meet. It's like, and then you look at, I haven't looked into this, but people are saying that during COVID was a larger upward transfer of wealth than the fucking 2008 financial collapse. And think about all the restaurants that got shut down that were keeping people afloat. I'm sure people really fucking felt that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had a limousine, me and my husband, company, and we had to shut down in 2020 because of COVID, and that sucked.
That sucked, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was just terrible. But like I was already going through probation, so I was like, you know what? 2 bad things are happening at one time, so it actually wasn't that bad for me.
Well, yeah,
so my life was already in shambles, so I was like, yeah, now everyone's fucked like me.
Everyone's taking a break.
Everyone's taking a break. And so that was also a reason, was like with the pandemic, it was just like no one really knew what was happening. And like I felt like comedians who had already been like sort of established really benefited from the pandemic, whereas like people at the bottom who are like just starting it out and just trying to figure it out, we like pretty much everything was on pause.
Yeah.
So you were already doing stand-up before COVID, right?
Yeah. I was just like, I just ran a show in College Station and just did like shit in College Station. That's actually how I met Tom Murphy, because I hosted a show in Huntsville that he was on. So I would just like do shit like in towns and stuff in Central Texas and around College Station in Austin. But yeah, so I started when I was 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So you've been doing that like 7 years?
Yeah.
Minus
like I said, two of those years I didn't do it.
Yeah. Minus a little break.
And then even when I was in College Station, I could only do 1 mic a week. I was getting on stage probably like 6 times a month, maybe. Versus so like 5 to 6 times a week.
It's a very long career before you start seeing anything.
For
fruitful.
Sure. Like Kill Tony was like the coolest and the best thing that I've done. And, I'd already been doing stand up for a minute since that happened.
Yeah. So it's not that bad when like you're starting out and like you don't go out as much like as you think you should, because it's like a growing.
Well, it's like a growing thing. I think that a lot of comedians, once they get past a certain point of success, they actually look back to when they were open micers, like they like kind of did like fondly. Like that was actually when I was having fun. And that's when you actually find out what the fuck is funny. Cause like if Dave Chappelle goes out and everyone knows who Dave Chappelle is, they're going to laugh at everything he says. Like he really, like it's open micers and like newer comics that are really like finding out what's funny, because we walk into a room where no one knows us and we have to figure out how to make them laugh. And they don't want to give you anything. Some crowds, they want to laugh, but a lot of people are like, prove it, motherfucker. So you just got, and most times you don't. But every now and then you have a good set, you know.
How are the crowds in Boston? Because everything that I hear from Boston, like, they say that it's rough.
It is rough. It's very, like I said, it's very much of a prove it sort of scene, because you're going to be at an open mic and you got a Patriots game playing in the background. Because like that's what I would do. I would have this bit when people weren't paying attention. I was saying that with my history degree and my pussy eating skills, I could eat your pussy and tell you like what your ethnicity is from. It was like a 23andMe and shit like that. And so I just start talking about eating pussy, and then like all the old men would like turn away from the game. I'm like, okay, I have your attention now. I get to my normal material. But it was very gatekeepy, very cliquey. A lot of like really like old people that think they're cool that aren't fucking cool.
How long were you there total?
I was there for only like 3 months. But like if you're like a young comic and you showed some promise, you know, there were people out there who would help you, like the guy who owned the comedy studio and stuff. And there was like a lot of really cool mics with like cool people. But like a lot of it was like, the way I look at the Boston scene is like a lot of those older comics saw all of like the nation's comics like leave Boston and then become famous, like Louis C.K.,
Bill Burr, Robert Kelly,
fucking Patrice O'Neill.
Rogan came out of Boston.
I mean, people who were like on television, like the guy on Sons of Anarchy, I think, or no, that firefighting show on FX. I can't think of his name, but he's Dennis Leary. Dane Cook, you know.
I love Dane Cook. He was the first comedian I ever saw.
Ever saw live?
No.
Or
like ever knew about. That he introduced comedy to me.
I was super into Dane Cook when I was in like 7th and 8th grade. That shit was the best. I still like him. A lot of people shit on him. I think he's great.
I love his story.
Yeah, his stories are good.
That B&E joke.
The B&E joke is fucking great. He's like, I hear a car, and he's like, yeah, the world's full of them. Hear a fucking humpback whale, tell me about that shit. Yeah, I used to listen on my iPod Nano. I'd have like Harmful If Swallowed and Vicious Circle. And then
Vicious Circle is where that one came from.
There was another album, I think before Harmful If Swallowed, or before.
He had that documentary that came out, the Tourgasm.
Right. Tourgasm was great. Yeah, also Gary Goldman is from Boston, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all those people saw these people pass them up, and they're like still clinging to like this little piece of shit, which is the Boston scene. Yeah. Which you can get good there.
Well, supposedly, from what I've heard from like just listening to podcasts, they say that like in Boston, you can be like a local guy that makes a good living.
I think so.
I don't know if that's the truth now, but that's what it was like way back. Yeah, like 40 years ago.
In the 80s, because there's this documentary called When Stand Up Stood Out, and it's all about the Boston comedy scene in the 80s.
I love the documentary. So where do you watch that?
I think you can actually find it for free on YouTube, maybe, but you'll have to pay for it somewhere. It's not streaming or anything. It's like an old documentary.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of obscure, but it's a good documentary.
What is it called?
When Stand Up Stood Out. Okay. And it's about like the Boston comedy scene with we smoked some. Drawing a blank on these names, but there was like a
Richard Jenny.
Yes.
Who else would have been around in the 80s?
There was another one. Wright. Stephen Wright was like one of the big stars to come out of that scene. A few of them. Lenny Clark, I think is his name. But they were like killers. Like they were like teachers and like normal just working class people, but like they had like the scene hot. Like there was like several comedy clubs and they were pretty much doing stand up like every night to like packed rooms and just like knocking the crowds dead and stuff.
And they were just there. They didn't elevate anywhere else. Like they didn't go anywhere else.
Stephen Wright like ended up getting on the Tonight Show and being like considered like one of like the best comics of his era. Lenny Clark was like a local guy, but I don't know what all they did, but they all like like were pretty well off, but they were also like doing cocaine and shit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they were going fucking nuts.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just not like that anymore. And then like all those comics that like we like the Joe Rogans and the Louis C.K.'s, all those guys kind of like came and rode off the coattails of that wave, but they all had to move to New York. Like Patrice and Bill Burr and all those guys.
Yeah, eventually
But
they make
now
their way
it's
to
just
New
not
York.
what it is now. And then you got to look at like Dallas produced Ralph. So like who else? Like this is a good town to get funny in.
Yeah.
You know, I think that this is a good scene to get funny in. So I think from what I observed, Dallas is a better scene than Boston.
Wow.
1000%.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Dallas. I was born and raised
And
here.
now Dallas is kind of the Boston to Austin now because it's like people. Well, I know
How
it's
dare
weird.
you.
So people start. A lot of the comics that you like started in Boston, then moved to New York, and then popped off.
So from Dallas to Austin.
From Dallas to Austin.
So
But-
that'll be like the new trajectory. If anybody's starting up here, or if
It's
anybody's
here.
coming from like surrounding states, they're like, all right, cool. Start in Dallas.
Start in Dallas
Head down to Austin.
because you don't have to fight for stage time. People are very cool. People like to book new comics on the showcases. I mean, yeah, they're lame showcases, but you'll get on a flyer. You'll get in front of like a decent crowd. The person hosting is probably going to work to make sure that there's people there for you. You know, so like you can get good at stand-up. And there's clubs in town.
Yeah.
So you always have the chance of at least working with one or two clubs. I mean, if you get involved at Hyenas, you can go to Hyenas Fort Worth. Then there's the Addison Improv and Dallas Comedy Club, TK's, Plano House of Comedy. There's like the new one in downtown Fort Worth. So yeah, you can definitely get good here. Whereas like what I've been hearing about Austin is it's like really cutthroat and like really toxic, like to where like people are going to give you bad information pretending that they're trying to help you so that you'll fuck yourself over. Yeah. And like everyone's trying to get in at the mothership.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
And that like you have to scrap for stage time. But I'll say this is that one good thing about Austin is like the open mics I have done there is there's people who aren't comics every time. Like there's just people out and they just like want to go see live entertainment.
Yeah.
So like I went there last week and I went to the Shakespeare's mic Monday night after Kill Tony. Is like we went to the Creek in the Cave and then we went to Shakespeare's, and definitely at Shakespeare's it was like a room full of like just normal people who weren't comics, and like I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go crush.
Yeah.
And I was able to like do some good material that I know works and then try some new shit. So I was like, damn, this is great. But you can get a ton of stage time in Dallas.
Yeah. You hear that, folks? Come to Dallas.
Come to Dallas. It's a good city.
No, actually, don't come to Dallas. The traffic is really bad.
Yeah. It's
It
kinda-
is.
The
it's
cops
getting
are really
crazy.
bad.
I think it's worse in Austin though.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about Dallas is just so spread out. Like you can go hit those mics, but you better be prepared to drive.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
like if you want to go to like the Arlington Improv, which I do, you know.
This
I've
is
been
not
trying to go more.
a. What did you call it
Pedestrian
earlier?
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, also the Comedy Arena. That's a
All the way in McKinney,
It's in
though?
McKinney. If you're like I said, if you're willing to
You have to drive, yeah.
You're gonna have to if you live in Dallas. But most people live in the suburbs north of Dallas. I would say most of the comics I met are from like North Dallas. So like 30-minute drive. But what you're gonna get from that is you're gonna get a really good room in front of a really good crowd because Kevin runs that mic right, and there's always people there.
Yeah.
So
Like
it's
that are
definitely
not
worth it.
comedian?
Yeah.
That
On
are
the
not
o-
comedians that are just showing up to hang out at
On
the
the open
comedy
mic
arena
night?
to drink to just see comedy.
We've been there.
'Cause it's
We've
like a
seen
legit comedy club.
Yeah.
And
I've
that's
never been
another
to the
thing,
open mic, but I was there for a show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
is like things in like this in like those further out suburbs or like in places like Tyler and Longview is they don't get to ever have live entertainment really. So like they're like, oh, like they're like Wednesday night at the comedy or Monday night at the comedy arena is probably like their thing that they go do that week. So
That's true.
yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I've been to a show there once, but I've never been to the open mic. So when I think of open mic, I think of only comedians being there.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of them where
that's-
it's like that.
And that
I didn't know that you could go to an open mic if you weren't a comedian.
yeah. I mean, you're hoping that normal people come there, but it's mostly comedians.
Yeah.
And then it really just turns into a bunch of comedians telling inside jokes on stage about each other, which is like
Yeah.
where comedy goes to die.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to Reno's once. When did I tell you that I went to Reno's?
Like 2 weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks.
And it was all comedians, and it was very much that.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I just want to start getting work in clubs and stuff. So hopefully this next Kill Tony appearance will help that. I don't know. I'm trying to fucking take the next step, but it'd be cool to go viral again. It'd be fucking sick.
Would it though?
I think so. Well, I know I was talking about the paranoia and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, either this works out.
Is it that bad? Like, is it that bad?
No, it's not
No,
that
right?
bad. Just sometimes I get too high. I'm just like, oh fuck. Well, especially because this joke, the first joke I said was like, I just sometimes just don't know how people are gonna perceive it. Like people that I know. But I said I have a drinking problem. I got blackout about 2 weeks ago, and I emailed a picture of my asshole to my second grade teacher. And it was even weirder when he replied, "Wow, it hasn't changed a bit."
Ew.
So it's like a disgusting kind of gross joke, and I told it on Kill Tony in front of like millions of people. So like, yeah, I'll get paranoid about that.
Yeah. How did it do in the room?
How did I what?
How did it do in the room?
Oh, it fucking destroyed the room. And well, what? And
Well,
then
who cares then?
after that, I told my joke about getting arrested with weed, and that was like that crushed. It was like everything I said was almost like a punchline. And when I did get to the punchline, I didn't even get a laugh. But then I followed it up with a tag that got a laugh.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. People really liked that joke.
Okay, so when you go up and you're on the stage at Kill Tony, and like, who was there when you went?
It was
the first time.
Oh, the first time it was Roseanne Barr and David Keckner from The Office.
Oh shit!
Shit was fucking wild.
What were you thinking? Like, as you were, they call you up, right?
Yeah, so they call me up, and I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. Because I went there with Brendan McCamey. He works at the Addison Improv, and Luke Smith, he also works there. And I had never been there. They were just like, we hung out at open mics, and like, we're going to Kill Tony. We got an extra seat. You want to come? I was like, yeah. They were doing a minute mic at Shakespeare's. They do a minute mic as they're calling people's names, or they were back then. They don't do it anymore because it's a different place. But they called Brendan up for the minute mic, and I was like, "Where's Brendan? He's downstairs. I'm going to go find him." And as I was looking for him, I hear Jacob Canter. And I was just like not prepared for it. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, fuck. I start having like little, like, I get really nervous and shit. And
what
I'm
are you
like, holy
feeling?
shit.
Like nervous,
I'm just-
but like you're shaking.
Do you feel like cold sweats?
Nervous.
Are you like breathing hard?
Breathing hard, heart racing. I'm just like, holy fuck, like this is about to happen. I can't believe I just called. You're just in disbelief, and you're like, what the fuck is happening to me right now?
Oh God.
So, and then like,
I would
so
die.
they take you there, and you're just like, okay, like, because you just don't know. You're like, I know, like, I have a joke, but I was just like, I don't know. You just don't know what to think. It's just crazy. It's just
So what
very
you
nerve
said,
wracking.
You already knew what you were gonna say when you were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they called you.
If they called me, I knew exactly what joke I was going to do because I told that joke every night for like the past 2 months, like an entire summer. Like I got in a car wreck too, and like I was like riding my bike.
We were there that
on the
day.
fucking train. And shit.
We were there that day.
That's right. This
We
night
were
I got in the
fucking
mark
there.
was
Yes.
the wreck was in the night that we did the show at Reno's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy because Anthony, I think we stopped the show for a little bit because Anthony was like, hey, Jacob just texted me, got into a fucking wreck.
And then I
was like,
went
is he
up
okay?
and I opened the show with a joke about the wreck.
Yeah.
That was
That
fucking
was
great.
awesome.
That was so cool. But I did get my car back. But yeah, for like 2 months, I was like 2.5 months, I was on a bike riding the train every day.
Jesus.
And I was still telling that joke, that MAGA Asians joke. So I knew exactly what I was going to say. So they take you there and then they like make you empty your pockets and they wand you in and shit. And then I'm walking around the corner. I hear Hans Kim. And then I hear Roseanne Barr's voice. And the first thing I hear her say is she was like, I'm tired of all these pussy, PC comedians who are fucking too pussy to say something. And I was like, you bitch. I got something fucking loaded and ready for you. I was like, you fucking better lock the fuck in. And then
Fuck.
and then there's this chick who works on Kill Tony, and she was like, you're gonna do great, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, I am gonna do great. Like I've fucking told this joke a million times. And then I'm sitting back there, and then fucking Ron White walks past me. And I'm like, dude, like blue collar comedy tour is like my shit growing up. And so I was like, hey, Ron. He was like, howdy, man. just like kept walking. He was like with like some like hunter looking couple. Like I think it was like some hunting guy that's been on Rogan or something before. So I was
like Cam Hayes or something.
Yeah, something like that. He looked all like huntery. Yeah. So I was like, cool, man. Like, you know, and then I just sat there and then I went up. Yeah. And I was just backstage, just like trying to psych myself up and get ready. But at some point I just was like, all right, you've told this joke 1,000 times. Just go out there and be yourself and everything else will take care of itself. Like you have nothing to worry about.
Fuck that.
Was the feeling similar or more amplified than like the way you felt the first time you did an open mic?
Oh yeah, like times 1,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just different because the first time I did an open mic, there was actually people there, but I was really nervous, and it actually was a good set because I was like super nervous. It almost was like I had invented a character, and I really hadn't. But this one was good because like when you first do stand-up, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just like telling some fucking stories. Yeah. And then this time I was like, I feel like I like this joke and it's something that really happened to me and I told it, like I worked it out and I found to me how it was funny. And so I was like, I'm ready for this. I just want to go get it out there. And so that's the thing is like, once you go out there and it's like a room of like over 300 people and the lights are on you, it's like, that's like, you're like, you're something else takes over and is like, I can't let these motherfuckers down. And so, yeah, that's essentially what I did. It was like, you just got to go out there. Once the lights are on, you just got to rise to the occasion and just be like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Because you're either going to, because the option is you humiliate yourself in front of like 400.
And then that becomes viral.
And then that goes viral. So you're just like, okay, I better fucking hit this.
That's crazy. Hell no.
Yeah.
With respect.
Yeah, but I'm honestly just surprised that it's gone well, that went well, and that my last one went well.
So what happened right after?
So right after, it was just like
they laugh, ha ha ha.
Yeah, so they laugh.
You get to talk to the judges?
A little bit. Well, so first off, right when it ended, David Keckner tried to like come at me for like saying like my joke was offensive because I did the Asian accent. Mm-hmm. And I just like shut him the fuck down. He was like, how'd you know she was Asian? I was like, just look at the eyes, dude. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Because here's the thing is like, he's like an improv guy. He's like trying to like angle for like another job in Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a guy. I smoke cigarettes outside Reno's and Deep Ellum. Like, you can't come at me with some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
I have nothing to lose right now.
I have nothing to lose. Like, dude, you have silk sheets. I fucking haven't washed my sheets in a month. Yeah, so I just had to shut him down. Then Roseanne really fucked with me. And so she was like, can you do a Jewish accent since you're so good at accents? And then Tony prompted them to be like, drum roll, please. And I was like, yeah, I'll do a Jewish accent. So he goes like, drum roll, please. And I was like, is there any AC in this train? And like everyone fucking died. So it was a fucking moment. But yeah. And then they started getting into my love life and I like kind of got real nervous about that.
Oh, what is your love life?
Well, back then I'm seeing someone now, but then it wasn't really even a breakup. It was like the stupidest thing, but I like talked about my last breakup and my last relationship, and it was like just weird to talk about in front of a room full of strangers as it would be. And so I like clamped up, but I was like honest in myself. And like, I think Tony was surprised that like my honesty was able to get the audience to laugh. Yeah. Because he was like, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done? And like, I was just like, I think there was some many crying phone calls. And like, I don't think he expected people to laugh, but they did. Cause I was just like kind of being vulnerable.
Yeah. You know? I like to cry.
Yeah, crying's good sometimes.
I love to cry.
Yeah, but it's not the most attractive thing for a man to cry to a woman that's breaking up with him. It's like very much like, oh yeah,
this is a good decision.
Yeah, this was a good decision. This man is on the phone crying right now. So it was like I lost respect for myself.
Oh no,
it was not good.
So, but you're seeing with somebody now.
Yes,
you're happy and you moved on.
I moved on. Well, I think it was just I was going through a rough time. Because I just first off, I just got off probation. I was still a little damaged from that. I just moved to Dallas, and then my roommate, who was 18 months sober when we decided to be roommates, started drinking.
Oof.
And so, like, my living situation like completely fucking fell apart. Because like I actually like I was like I had a great routine. I was like meal prep every Sunday. Every Sunday, I would make all of my food for the week. and he would just come in and just fucking eat it all, like in like one night, and just like leave the fucking dishes just like out.
What?
And then
he was just
and then he was like in and out of rehab and shit. And when he went to rehab, that was nice because I could go back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
But it was just the weight of like, what's my living situation going to be like? Because I had to break my lease. It was going to cost all this money. And then I ended up having to go sleep on my brother's couch.
Damn.
So it just was not the best time for my mental health. So I got clingy. That's really what happened. I was out. I wasn't myself. Like I wasn't my authentic self because I was just like desperate.
Yeah, and you were going through like your living situation was rough, and also probably if you're like clinging to her a little bit.
Yeah, because when I was lonely all through
you
probation,
wanted to move in with her.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that to like just propose. I wasn't that. No, my living situation. It was just I was like scared. I was like, what am I going to do for a living?
Yeah.
Because I'm not just going to meet someone and then be proposed.
Can I move in with you, please?
Yeah, I would much rather just take care of that myself and not bother
I
them.
had a friend that was.
I mean, that happens.
Doing that.
And I could do that if I wanted to. I could meet a chick
that was
and
really
like
dirty though. She would like have sex with them and like move in with them, and they would work together. And it was like, you have had 6 boyfriends in the last year, and you moved in with every single one of them.
It's very parasitic.
That is, yeah,
Not healthy.
not healthy at all.
She's still very toxic.
Yeah, especially like when you're dating, you
gotta
can't
tell
just
me
be
who that
like,
is later.
You know who it is.
even when
Is
you're
it?
first dating someone, for them to be like say like they ask you for money, right? That's a red flag. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine how big a red flag. Like, can I move in?
No.
And most dudes are so dumb. They're like, regular pussy all the time. Yeah, move in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. Okay, so but then right out. Do you like? What do you do after? What do you do like once they usher you on and it's time for the next person?
Oh yeah, so they're just like either they give you a big joke book or a little joke book. The big joke book was for people that they thought had a good set. And then they give you a gel blaster. If you did good on the way out, they'll hand you a gel blaster. And then you just go back out into the street, and then like everybody who didn't get up congratulates you, and some of them are bitter.
Right.
Better Betties.
But everyone's like, usually, hopefully you're there with friends.
Yeah.
Like you'll see like big groups of people that are like from the Houston scene. And so once their boy gets on, they're like, yeah, we got one on. Wow. They're all like happy and shit. So I was just there with like Brendan and Lucas, and like Tony Cruz had moved down there. So he was there. I forgot there. Yeah, shout out Tony. There's a bunch of.
He got skinny.
I guess I didn't realize if he was like fat before, not fat. Before. I didn't realize.
Was he?
Yeah. Well, I saw a picture of him recently, and I said, it was a story, and I said, I messaged him. I was like, "Skinny Queen, okay, Skinny Queen,
go off."
He looked it. I was like, "Okay, you help yourself."
Yeah, he was there. There was a few other Dallas comics there, and they were all like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And then like people start to ask you for interviews, like out on the who are just covering the Kill Tony, what's going on. And then everyone's like, who's the guest? Who's the guest? Everyone wants to know who's the guest is because they don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn. Oh, you tell them? Or you're like, guys, no, I'm above this
I'm
now.
I was just like, yeah, it was Roseanne and fucking Todd Packer from The Office. Yeah. Yeah, I told everyone because I'm just like, I love attention. So I'm just like, yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Do you get to go back at all?
I mean, yeah, like you just got to go back and keep signing up, and then they call you. What was crazy though, and I don't want to, because I brought it up on the last podcast I was on, about 2 months after my first episode, my dad died. So I just took like a little break from stand up. Like I was probably still going like once or twice a week, but I kind of disappeared there for a little bit and just like hung out with my brother. We went hiking on a hike at the end of February. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. I just like prepared for that hike. It was like 40 miles in the mountains of West Texas.
40 miles? Fuck
yeah, it was fucking nuts.
That's crazy. It was
a lot of fun though. So, and then
I've been doing like overnight camping and stuff like that.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. We like packed everything in. You have to cache your water. Like before you start the hike, you have to go drive down this trail and put water in because like you can't carry all that water that long. Wow. So we all had like overnight packs. It was me, my brother, and a few buddies from high school. And it's called the Outer Mountain Loop in Big Bend. It's like fucking treacherous as shit. It's a lot of fun. It's very beautiful. I'll show you guys pictures in a second.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
He's dead right after.
Well, my dad died in November, and then the holidays, and then we planned it in January, then went in February.
Mm-hmm. Was it sudden that he passed?
Yeah, it was very sudden.
Really?
Yeah, it was a stroke. A series of strokes.
That he knew about, or?
No, he went to the hospital and had like a very minor regular heart procedure called an ablation.
Mm-hmm.
And the hospital said it wasn't from the ablation, but he had some sort of infection and it went septic. He got sepsis. And it's like an infection of the blood. And then once that happens, it starts to break off the plaque from your arteries. So he had like some mini strokes that put him in the hospital, and then a major stroke that pretty much made it to where he's done.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
R.I.P. to a legend.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was a really good dad. A lot of people don't get to say that.
Yeah.
But
We
it kind of
don't.
sidelined me. So I didn't go to Kill Tony. Everyone's like, where the fuck is this guy? Not like obviously they forgot about me, but like everyone in the scene and like the people who had seen Kill Tony was like, where are you?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just like doing shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like get booked at all. Like it did very well. I got like a lot of people bought me drinks. I gained friends and stuff, and people were like recognizing me at work. So that was
Were
pretty
you getting
cool.
asked for like interviews and stuff?
No.
I wanted to ask you,
just on like the
but-
small podcast. But after the last episode, Joke World wants to interview me now.
Oh,
It's like a
shit.
huge. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
I met
that's
him at Secret Show. So
And so they just invite you on, and
yeah, and I got really lucky because Moon Tower Comedy Festival was that week. So I got to meet like Joey Diaz and Ari Shafir.
I love
shit,
him.
nice.
And then Yoshi Obayashi.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. So he's opens for Russell Peters.
Wow.
And he let me go meet Russell Peters. It was fucking sick.
That's
Nice.
crazy. So when
Yeah.
is that episode gonna air? Did you
Comes
say?
out in like a week from
And
tomorrow.
so then I'm gonna make it to where this episode comes out, like right
Yeah, because
after.
you will get a boost from it.
Yes, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome. Let me know what to tag. Well, thank you so much, Jacob, for coming on
thank
to
you
the
guys for having me.
podcast.
I love being included.
I was gonna ask you right after, but then I was like, no, he's gonna be like bombarded with DMs asking for like to go on the show.
Well, it
and
hasn't
stuff.
come out yet, so not quite.
The first time. I was gonna ask you the first
Oh,
the
yeah, that
first
would have been
time.
cool, but no one really fucked with me after that. I don't know
Dang,
why.
I should have.
Yeah.
Dang it. That's what happens when you don't shoot your shot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Is
Thank
there
you
any
guys for
shows that
having
you're
me.
going to be on, like, so you can
Nope.
plug them?
Nope.
Well,
Nothing. No,
if
I have something at Four Corners, I think, but I haven't gotten a date yet.
Okay, bet.
So,
Well,
but I'll
if
be around.
I'll let you know when it comes out, and then if send me the flyer and we
then-
can post it.
Sweet. That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on,
Cool.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Don't forget, follow Jacob Canter
Jacob R. Canter on Instagram.
on Instagram. Do you have TikTok?
No. Well,
No
actually,
TikTok.
it is Jacob R. Canter. I think it's
you
Jacob
post on
Canter
there?
Comedy. No, I don't.
Okay, well, you should.
I should. Yeah.
Follow him, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.